and welcome to Diabetes Connections in the News. I'm Stacey Sims, and every other Friday, I bring you a short episode with the top diabetes stories and headlines happening now. In the News is brought to you by Edgepark. Simplify your diabetes journey with Edgepark. Our top story this week, a weight loss intervention in people with type 2 diabetes was found to alter levels of cancer-related proteins. The study, published in eBiomedicine, is the first to show that weight loss in people recently diagnosed with diabetes can change the levels of cancer-related chemicals circulating in the blood. Previous studies have found that having increased body weight alters the levels of circulating proteins with a known link to cancer. These researchers in the UK sought to evaluate whether the benefits of weight loss in people with type 2 also impacted their risk of developing cancer. 9 cancer-related proteins in blood samples were found to be changed by the weight loss intervention compared with the control group who received standard care for diabetes treatment. New study by researchers at the Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare Institute says that milestones in a woman's reproductive years could be risk factors for what they call metabolic dysfunction. They say that includes the onset of chronic disease like diabetes, high cholesterol. These reproductive risk factors include early age of first menstruation, menstrual irregularity, polycystic ovarian syndrome or PCOS, high weight change in pregnancy, and the severity and timing of menopausal symptoms. Dexcom has submitted its new CGM to the FDA. This is intended for people with diabetes who do not require insulin. Called Stelo, it will last for 15 days. It won't have the same alarms as the previous Dexcom models. Pricing said to be in line with the Abbott Freestyle Libre systems. Researchers at Sinai Health bucking a trend here. They say they've discovered important insights into the link between post-meal insulin levels and long-term cardiac and metabolic well-being. This study looked at whether an insulin spike after eating is a bad thing, which is conventional wisdom, but these doctors say it could actually be an indicator of good health to come. The team reported their findings in the online journal eClinical Medicine, published by the Lancet Group, and they say in the long run, higher corrected insulin response levels were linked with better beta cell function and lower glucose levels. For people with diabetes, disruption from the COVID-19 pandemic led to higher rates of death and other adverse outcomes, particularly diabetic ketoacidosis in children. This new data comes from what's believed to be the first systemic review of evidence related to the clinical impact of COVID-19 disruptions, basically delays in seeking care among people with diabetes rather than illness from the virus itself. This was commissioned by the World Health Organization, included a total of 138 studies from different countries. While there were no differences in overall amputations or DKA in adults, there were significantly higher rates of DKA hospitalizations in children and teens, both with new onset and pre-existing type 1 diabetes. A new insulin pump is before the FDA. This is from San Diego-based Modular Medical. It's led by Paul DePerna, who founded Tandem Diabetes Care. A news release says Modular Medical designed the 90-day Mod 1 with new microfluids technology to allow for the low-cost pumping of insulin. Its new intuitive design makes the product simple to use and easier to prescribe. The pump has a reservoir of 300 units. Users can monitor pump activity with their cell phone. No external controller is required. The pump uses a provided single-use disposable battery. I think it's pronounced Mod 1. It is spelled MODD 1. Right back to the news in just a moment, but first, In the News is brought to you by Edgepark. Managing diabetes doesn't need to get in the way of your passion, your social life, or your budget. Edgepark can help you simplify your diabetes journey so you can focus on other important things. Edgepark offers a wide array of continuous glucose monitors, such as the Dexcom G7, Freestyle Libre 3, and more. Plus, Edgepark accepts most insurance plans and handles the paperwork. Go to diabetes-connections.com and click on the Edgepark logo to learn more. The last qualifier for the women's marathon at the Summer Olympics is this weekend, and there's a runner with type 1 hoping to make the cut. Sophie Shunk was diagnosed with type 1 while in college, where she played soccer and track and field. She's passed 2 qualifying Olympic trials, and in both runs, she's set 2 personal records in the previous 2 qualifying Olympic trials. After the February 3rd race, the top 3 runners, as well as 3 alternatives, will move ahead to represent Team USA in Paris this summer. Shunk is not a professional athlete. She has a day job, and there's a great article I will link up about her trying to balance it all. This one isn't quite yet a news story, more speculation, but I have a lot of respect for the blogger Diabet-Tech, so I'm going to link this blog post up. This is Tim Street's parsing of a new CGM from Roche, ? What do we know? A little bit of detective work, well-sourced, as always over there, and worth your time to take a read if you're interested in that sort of thing. And that's it for Diabetes Connections in the News. If you like what you heard, please share the show with somebody who's interested in diabetes. I'm Stacey Sims. I'll see you back here again soon. Thanks for joining me.
Diabetes Connections is a production of Stacey Sims Media. All rights reserved, all wrongs avenged.